So this is my OTT Soulless deck. I'm doing a quick profile of it because it's one of my favorites throughout all of Vanguard, and I've played it for most of my local tournaments. I played it all of the last autumn, from summer until most of Christmas, and a bit through until BT12 hit. Then I swapped to Link Joker and regretted it, but I swapped to Link Joker anyway. Anyway, my starter is Lulu, because Lulu is the best starter and is required if you play Oracle Think Tank Soulless. It draws you a card with literally no way of preventing it in any way. She is a free rearguard, so she leaves Soul at level 3 and she draws you a card. It's great for keeping your field full. OTT for me is about keeping your field full. You do that until your enemy dies. End of story. My trigger lineup is crits, more crits, and more crits, because crits are amazing. It's really good. So if they no guard, you want to crit them so they cannot no guard again, preferably. It's like a plus kind of, but a minus to their hand rather. And I run 4 heals because I have to. There is no 4th crit trigger, and they are damaged on flippers. So if I hit 1 heal trigger that removes a counterblast, I can use Coco a 3rd time, which is kind of cool. As for my level 1 lineup, I have, like everybody else, running 4 PGs. Running 4 PGs because without PGs you risk dying straight away. There's sometimes come attacks, especially break-ridden with crits and things that you just have to remove. Then also, one of my most important cards in this deck, it's Milk. She brings my Vanguard to actually hit for decent numbers. It's the one thing that Oracle Think Tank lacks. Power, pure power. And this girl actually does it. And her effect is relatively consistent. Behind Coco, she's 19k. And 19k is fine, but if her effects activates, she's 23, and it usually activates. I am also running 4 Gemini. Cannot run any less in a Soulless deck, because Tom and Coco and everything synergizes well with your Gemini. I'm running 3 Cream. You could get by on 2, but I want to guarantee getting Cream, because I often get into situations where I desperately need to empty my soul. You're playing Soulless, you need to be soulless. She soulless you, basically. She empties the soul, hits really hard with your cookie in front of her. She does it consistently. She just works really well, so you can place more Cocos on field. And since I played 4 Gemini, I'm also playing 4 Tom. Tom will usually get like a pot shot or 2 in early game. They will not throw rear guards to guard against Tom early game because they do have to keep their field. You can make sure they do by putting the crit on Tom and hitting rear guards, which makes them throw like 3 to 4 rear guards per turn if they want to guard it, at least. Which is not sustainable. So they'll run out of rear guards or PGs and they die horribly to Tom. My preferred ride for this set is my 10k vanilla. She can also work well on rear as she's cheaper to defend, as this meta has a 7k and effect back row and 9k front row or 12k front row. With a 12k front row it builds 19k, which this girl cancels with 1 card worth of guard, as opposed to 2, which is usually required with your standard 8 or 9k. I run 4 Mocha because she's the consistent beater of the deck. Unique for this deck because I'm not running Macaron right now. I'm also not running any grade 3 with 11k. So Mocha is required in this deck, in my opinion, because she reaches numbers that others can't. And even without booster, she can always hit, kinda. Unless they're cross-ridden. Cross-rides are a pain for this deck. It counters Tom, counters everyone. It's kind of frustrating. The main grade 3 in this deck is Coco. Coco is just that good. She pluses at a point of the game where plussing is most needed. Contrary to popular belief, throwing in your limit break phase, sure, that's good, but it just goes to the trust fund of trying to guard and survive against your opponent's limit break, really. During the limit break, everyone is hitting for like 30k plus crit and draw and discards and everything at the same time. That is good, but this girl, she does it before that. Coco pluses in the mid game, where it's so incredibly important to keep a full field to make sure you have advantage. You are always able to keep a full field, you're always able to keep rear guards, you're able to hit their rear guards if you want to, because they need their limit break, you do not. To back Coco up, I'm running 4 Cookie. Cookie, her effect, Counterblast 2 for card swapping basically, -1 from hand, and discard 1 to draw 2 for 2 counterblasts. That is not always very good. It could in theory help you once or twice, but try to use 6 counterblasts on Coco. That's to say, use 4, heal 1, try to heal 1, really do, and use another Coco. Really that good, but she excels as a rear guard. I have a consistent 21k column actually with her. So it's really good, in my opinion. She builds a 21k column. Coco builds a 21k column with either milk or cream. Sorry, milk or Gemini. 21k plus with both. Really strong. And my last column, really try to get a Tom column. Like really, it's twice as good as anything else. Just hit with this card. Vanguard column, usually PG'd. Rearguard column, hits for 21 plus trigger. But Tom, 16 plus trigger, means they'll have to throw either PG or like 3 to 4 cards with triggers. It is... yeah, it's Tom. He ends your games. The best card so far. Sometimes it's really worth guarding him a lot if they hit him. Or you can just place a new Tom from hand, obviously, but Tom is good. This setup, before limit break, there's like no requirement to actually limit break, still hits hard and pluses. So this works to actually still against meta decks. You usually do lose to both cross rides and the top tier, obviously. But it still does work. So I think it's decent, and it's kind of nostalgic almost for me, because I've played this deck so much, and I really do enjoy these cards. I do enjoy the artwork of the cards. Yeah, it's one of my favorite decks, and I'm kind of frustrated that it's I'll have to wait for the Legion to the deck actually to come back and be playable. They kind of said something like, if you look at the series, that Genesis is the replacement. So I might be playing Genesis a little bit, since I do not enjoy Link Joker. I might be playing Minerva. But until then, I'm totally keeping this deck, because it means so much for me and has won me so many games. So I'll keep this deck for now, and I'll play it occasionally. And yeah, Tom end games, Milk end games, and Cream end games. I mean 21, and basically like 21 plus in effectiveness.